Hey all, boardgamerants here. We'll find everything solo, tabletop gaming, and more. An expressive gamer. I get to play a game, maybe give you some insight. I'll go over real quickly what the game's about, play a few rounds, if you will, and then a quick summary. And this is Darkest Night, 2nd edition. Let's check it out. Welcome to Darkest Night. We've got ourselves the board set up here. I'm just going to give you a quick intro on what we got going on. I'll read it right out of here. A great shadow has fallen over the kingdom as the undead multiply under the control of the dread necromancer. There's our bad guy right there. The king's army is broken, the land's overrun, and now the castle has fallen. The last of the kingdom's strength has taken refuge in the hallowed ground of the monastery, where the necromancer and his dead dare not tread, at least not yet, as he tightens his grip on the land and builds his power for a final assault on this last refuge. A few brave souls seek a way to fight back. Here's what represents our brave souls, all 4 of them. And there they are on the board. So what you're trying to do here, you got your back up against the wall, Darkest Night. There's no doubt about it. You got this necromancer running around willy-nilly, throwing out blight across the land. That's these little bad tokens here. There's 7 areas in the land represented by forest, ruins, village, swamp, castle, mountains, and the monastery. Right now the monastery is the safest place to be, but as the necromancer keeps throwing out blight, eventually they're going to start spilling over the monastery. You get too many in the monastery, you lose the game. The way you win the game is by taking your brave heroes. They start marching across the land. They're going to be battling back the blight so they don't overrun. And at the same time, going to these different areas and doing, see where it says search difficulty, blah, blah, blah. And there's, those little icons tell you approximately what you might find in the village or what you might find in the swamp. And what you're trying to ultimately find are mysteries and solve mysteries to gain clues. And then as your clue token rises up and hits that 10 mark, you'll be able to trade in your clues for these holy relics. And there's 4 out on the board. And with those holy relics, once you have them, then you stand a chance of doing battle with the necromancer and actually winning. And if you do that, you win. The other way is to get 3 of the 4 and bring them back to the monastery. You'd win that way as well. However, the pesky necromancer is going to, has his own little fancy marker here that's going to march up the track and increase the darkness level. And once you hit certain areas on this, then you have to draw darkness cards, which just ratchet up the game's difficulty. And of course your characters, which are represented by this sheet and a little deck of cards and their little power cards here, they're all kind of bundled together, but this is a section, and this is a section, this is a section, and that's a section. They all start off with 3 of their own unique powers. You've got about, I think, 29 different heroes. So I just, randomly picked 4. And you can also run quests in this game. Quests are going to appear and allow you to accomplish things. Or if you don't accomplish them in time, they do bad things. These map cards are how you're going to determine blights that come out in certain areas. Or when you do search actions, what your search result is going to be. These event deck, very naughty. You have to resolve that every turn you take. And then up there, artifacts are a nice thing to enhance your abilities. And very generally, you'll take a turn per hero you're playing, so 4 turns, and then the necromancer goes. And then you go back and you do another 4 turns. This is all cooperative, so you can play in any order that you want. And back and forth you go until you hit a victory condition or a loss condition. So let's take this for a spin, see how it goes. All right, so thematically, this game's pretty fun. I like the whole necromancer running around, blighting the land, and you take your band of heroes and you go out and battle it back. Good stuff. Plus, you always feel, you're always on your heels in this. You don't really start off, oh wow, we've got good, you're coming in at the back end of this whole story and just trying to, you're the last hope here. So that's fun. Mechanics are a lot of dice rolling, so man, those dice can get you like any good dice rolling game can do. A lot of ways though you can mitigate that. You got your powers. Each individual hero has its powers and lots of mitigation there so that you can work with and And they're all very different, all 29 heroes, and you play with 4 of them. Tons of combinations there and variability with the map cards. Even when you flip, you can tone the map cards. You can actually, at the beginning of the game, build a map card deck to suit your tastes, in a sense, to have blights that always fight back, or to have blights that have worldly effects, or have blight. You can actually tone the game to a certain flavor, which is pretty cool. And so there's lots of variability there with the quests popping up, and the mysteries are all, you know, different each time. You got a huge stack of artifacts that you hardly ever get to go through, really. Length of play, you know, it's up there. This is, especially you get deeper into the game and you got blights everywhere and stuff, trying to keep track. I mean, it can get lengthy. If you manage to pull off a win, hour and a half, I would say. You know, it's a pretty solid 90-minute game if you get through it and you're doing pretty well. I have played a time or two where you get so far in and it's just, you know, you got your heroes are dropping like flies and there's just blights everywhere, and I've just stopped before I lost. You know, it's just, and I'm, you know, like 2+ hours into the game, and but that's just me. May not be you. And the rule book is great. I think it's rule clear, and you've got a compendium that comes with it. You got a bunch of reference sheets, which are always appreciated. Love the reference sheets, and they just help you just clippity-clop through things and not have to flip through a big old manual. And this game is pretty, you know, on your turn, you very simply draw an event, resolve it, take an action, done. Move on to the next character. There's something to be said about that. And that's why, from a solo standpoint, you can play this game with all 4 characters and get the whole feel of the game, as opposed to many games where you just play solo 1 character and you go out and try to do your thing, but then you don't get all the interactions and stuff. But in order to get the interactions and play with more characters, now it just gets really thinky. But this game does pretty well to it just clips along. You know, each character, you just got a couple things, you just each take, solve an event, do an action, solve an event, do an action, solve an event, do an action, solve an event, do an action. That's 4. Then Necromancer's turn, then you do it again. And it works well. So, and the scoring, there is no scoring, really. There's 2 win conditions and 1 loss condition. So that's straightforward. It's just feels straightforward. You know, it's well done. I know the quests and some of these things that came with the 2nd edition. I don't know what the 1st edition was like. I bet you I would have felt like the 1st edition just didn't have enough to it. This has it all. You know, really for a person who plays solo games like myself. So hopefully that gives you some insight. Thank you for watching. Till next time, I'm Board Gamer Rants. I'm out.